Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Virche Epic Lycoris, continuing Eve's side end encore, and everything is literally on fire. Not in the world, well, I mean, the world's on fire, but also the world in the game is on fire, so, you know. Hi, simmer down, I'm sorry, I was adjusting my neck on my sweater, I'm sorry. Simmer down. Okay, it's gonna get dark, you need to simmer down. It's night times. It's time for naps. It's 4:30 at night, which means it's basically the sun's going to bed. Got up here, sat down, was doing some stuff, whatever, and I was like, why is it motherfucking dark? It's 4:30. Fall is weird. Listen, I love the fall, but like falling back in the time is stupid. Like, it's already dark and it's not even 5 o'clock. What the hell? Stop it. You know, not you. Sorry, not you. Talking about the sky. Talk about the sky. It already goes to bed early. The sun already goes to bed early in the fall. We don't need to make it worse. This whole daylight savings time thing is stupid as shit. Especially because nobody else fucking does it. So you're used to certain things happening at certain times, and then you fall back, and then you're thinking the rest of the, and then you're like, wait, right. And then you got to get readjusted to the time everybody else is on in the universe. You know? Jesus. Anyway, under the direction of the three scientists, the preparations progressed rapidly. Right, we're going to send Eve out into the flames, and it's going to be 3 hours of him dying, or something's going to change, or whatever. Several explosives were planted in the waterway in calculated positions. Dodd said he'd increase the flow of the medicinal water underground, though he didn't elaborate on how he would do so. Cyan handed a protective scarf to Eve. However, it would be mostly useless against the toxic air. Well, sometimes it's just the, placebo effect. Time flew by during the rapid preparations. All right, I think my body's recovered the strength it needs. I could do this in 3 hours. With a bag of the explosives over his shoulder, Eve prepared to leave the building. As I stood watching him. Call his name, call his name, don't leave him alone. Save file. All right, here we go. We're gonna put it down here underneath our, we have so many of these. Leave him alone should be a bad ending. Call his name, goddammit. Leave him alone? What the fuck is going on in this ending? Okay. I hung my head down, not knowing what I could possibly say. I guess I could understand the don't reply, because replying before would have been like, no, don't come visit me again. And by not saying anything, we didn't push him away. But this, we're just like, instead of, Eve, we're just gonna stare blankly at him? I don't understand that. I mean, we'll find out, because that's gonna be a bad end, but is it gonna be like we say his name and it makes him reconsider, no, I can't do this anymore? Because I don't think he's that kind of person, so I'm not really sure. Okay. I clearly cannot win the Labradoodle over. I don't know. Don't cry, Spacey. I'm not. He smiled gently, brushing away the bangs that covered my teary eyes. I won't go as far as to say I want you to smile, but I want you to believe in the fact that I'll come back alive. You're being too optimistic. Stupid Labradoodle! Yeah, but he's, like, too pretty to die. But the game's mean, so it will kill him. Probably. Maybe. Well, we have to have an NCG where we're dying together, so we're gonna end up and repeat that ending? I mean, to be fair, in Mathis, I don't think we stabbed each other ever in a bad end, but aside from in this game, but I don't remember. Even if you do come back alive, your lifespan won't... You never know, right? I'm similar to my ancestors who have lived to be dozens of years old. Dozens. I might be completely fine. I might even be able to come back without any struggle. Even though you were almost killed by me. Well, it's only natural for a guy to be weak against the girl he likes. In fact, that's practically his duty. He joked in a tone of voice that suggested he actually believed it to be true. So, when I do come back alive, let's take our time to talk things out. I'm still not sure if I should hate you or love you, but at the very least, I know I don't want to end things with you here. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I don't remember him in his other route being like, I don't know if I should hate you or love you, but I love you, but maybe I'm supposed to hate you. Like, I don't remember him being wishy-washy like that. I knew it was impossible. No matter how much I pleaded, I couldn't stop Eve, unless he's saying, like, because we're like, you need to hate me, and he's like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to hate you or love you, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, because we keep saying he should hate me, so that's more like placating us type of a thing than him, like, actually being confused about it? I don't know. If that was the case, promise you'll come back. I haven't been able to do anything for you yet, not even return your love. All I could do was force myself to believe in the power of his words. Thank you, Spacey. Please stay alive, too. Eve smiled gently at my reply. All right, I'll be off then. To the Lycoris fields where I've had so many memories with you. He walked outside where there was nothing but a heavy mist of despair. I managed to keep myself from coughing up blood the moment I stepped outside. Upon my path lay corpse after corpse. Arbachel, which had been in such an uproar over the frightening deaths, fell silent in a single night. And then there was the horrible curse that ate away at the genes of this land's people. Suddenly I could see it as a fog. I couldn't even determine whether this was reality or some kind of hallucination. A sudden heat in my heart was trying to warn me of the approaching danger. It was telling me to go back. But it would be difficult just to stay alive here. I think so too. I rushed out with such energy earlier, but I could feel my spirit about to break any second. But I have to keep going or everyone will die. From the Lycoris flowers that bound my ancestors with death, the flowers that Spacey loved. That horrible fate was the one thing I'd never accept. Those flowers weren't planted to create such despair. I forcefully swallowed the blood erupting through my throat and ran off toward the burning flowers. Just hold your breath. It wasn't as though there were no survivors. I could hear wails. I could hear people shouting for me to save them as they vomited blood. But I couldn't stop for them now. No, in fact, if I wanted to save them, I absolutely couldn't stop right now. My head hurt. With every breath I took, I could tell the black infestation was destroying more of my genes. I felt something warm drip down from my lips, but I couldn't care less now. Forward, forward, forward. Running so that I could return to her. No. After pushing away everything else my body wanted to do right now. With an exhausted sigh, I made it to the burning Lycoris field. Chuck them all in the middle. Chuck them and run. I helped raise all these with Grandpa, you know. I couldn't help but laugh. The cursed black flowers that possessed a hint of crimson in their petals. Or a brighter shade of scarlet now. Yeah, the wrong kind. I didn't have time to lament over this. I had to set the explosives as soon as I could and get away. The spot I need to set these explosives. The center of this field? The center of this field. Good job, Tim, Ronald. Way to go, guys. Did you want it to be the center of the field, the center of this field? They couldn't decide, so they went with both. Listen, I get it. I get it. Because sometimes this game doesn't do it as badly, but it does suffer from the, ending where it's like, everybody wants an input. They give you false endings in this one, where it's like, oh no, god damn it, we're still going. But like other games have this is a really good ending line. But then this is a good ending line too. But then we have another one. We pulled and like seriously, every single person that ever worked on the game or ever knew anyone who worked on the game, and then they're all their friends and grandpas and uncles, brothers, cousins, dogs, all got an input on what the best end line should be, and all 3,000 of them ended up in the game, and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? That's almost worse than what they did in Mathis's Salvation End, where it seemed like it was an ending and then you kept going for another hour. You know what I mean? Like, because that at least is like, you made me think you were ending, you bet, but not like where you're like, no, this is the end, but it takes 3 hours to get through because it's all the same damn, like, fancy lines over and over. And you're like, what the fuck? So, you know, I understand where Tim and Ronald both had a version that they wanted that line to say, so they just decided to both get their way. Because fair enough, that's how it works here. I got being salty and annoying, and this is what I do here. The center. Oh, right. No, okay. I was like, did they do this again? No, we were still on this. The center of the field, about 20 meters away from where I stood. In my normal state, I'd be able to run that distance in a matter of seconds. However, you can't die in this field because I'm not here with you like I was in every other ending. The instant I inhaled the black fog rising from the burning flowers, I vomited up all the blood I'd been holding down. I braced myself, somehow managing to keep myself from collapsing to the ground. You think Onko's gonna rescue you? After only a few seconds, my chromosomes, which had until then been able to keep their normal shape, started to break down. How do you know that? Yeah, how do you feel that happening? You're just assuming, I'm assuming. No. At this rate, I would die before I took another step. In a panic, I forced a foot forward. I'm fine. I'm not dead yet. I've never been more grateful for being born into the Noir's family than I was now. 20 meters. And another 20 meters back to get away from the center of the blast. My instincts were sure that I could barely get through. I can make it. His body's like, we're gonna die. And he's like, I will not. In order to grasp the glimpse of hope I saw, I took my next step forward, and then there was the sound of something being crushed. The scene around me turned upside down. Huh? I didn't understand what happened. I was directly exposed to the flames, a scorching heat very similar to before, and at the same time heard the sound of my legs succumbing to decay. I looked at my feet to see them drenched in seeping blood pouring out from under my clothes. I'd completely forgotten. The coughing fits that were a strain on my heart and throat were so great I hadn't realized it. Contaminated chromosomes led to the destruction of the body itself. It was only natural for the body to collapse as a result. Gross! That's just way more disgusting than it needed to be, game. So, like, he's like, oh, I'm not only, like, my lungs are collapsing and I'm coughing up blood, my legs are just turning into, like, rotten goo. Ew! What the fuck? From my eyes, my nose, any torn bit of skin erupted shocking amounts of blood. You know, this game's trying to make me vomit. The darkest blood I'd ever shed poured out of my mouth. There was so much I was baffled by where it could all come from. Well, that's probably your spleen. My body, I could hear it literally breaking down. Ugh! I gazed upon the Lycorises as the flames brushed against them. You think you could throw them? The explosives? Close enough? I knew in a few seconds I'd fall unconscious. Even in such a short time, the flames burning away at the Lycoris continued to spread quickly. Cursing at myself, I attempted to stand up. But under so much strain, the sense of pain I'd lost from that fire ran through me again.
I was a fool for making light of my situation just because I was the Drifter's descendant. This is the true curse of Arbashel, sealed away for hundreds of years. I was terrified. Couldn't believe how such a horrible toxin could have been born into this world. With each passing second, I could tell I was getting closer and closer to death. I was gonna die. At this rate, it was the only sure thing. A horrible, gruesome death, not looked after by anyone. Huh. I thought I imagined myself laughing just now. That was strange. Just now, why did I laugh? Maybe I was just delusional from the terror of my approaching death. No, it might be similar to that, but maybe it was something different. It was true I was afraid, and I felt my own death approaching so certainly. I couldn't imagine a single reason why I would laugh.
You're being too optimistic. Even if you do come back alive, your lifespan will...
You never know, right? I'm similar to my ancestors who have lived to be dozens of years old.
Dozens, I tell you! 2 dozens! 24? Like... Or are we talking baker's dozens? Because that'd be 26. Woo! I mean, to them, that's a whole fuck ton longer than 23, so...
I might be completely fine. I might even be able to come back without any struggle.
Even though you were almost killed by me.
I was right. I'm happy. And I've been able to face true fear. And that was because...
Flashback.
She blamed my death on herself. Yet it was being proven right now that at the very least, she wasn't the greatest threat to Eve Noir's. That pain was nothing. It was tiny compared to what I was feeling now. In other words, yeah, I guess I was right. Compared to the true death taking hold of this land, you really are just a normal girl, Spacey. This was what I believed. I was sure I wasn't mistaken. My heart beat with strength, following the joy from being able to give affirmation to her. I wiped blood from my face with a sleeve and raised my head. An idiotic smile came over my masked face.
Yeah, well, that's what we expect from the Labradoodles.
I could feel my lips tearing apart from the smile, but I didn't care now. Ugh. As the flames passed by right in front of me, I dug into the ground with my shaking arm and began to crawl to the center of the field. My chromosomes were being contaminated, but I didn't care. My entire being was being taken over by a single emotion, driving my body forward. I'm gonna announce my return to her. No matter how much I might hate her. If I didn't love the person I wished so much to be with, all the love in this world would be a lie.
Did he just basically say he hates us as well? No matter how much I might hate her. Huh. It's very complicated emotions here. I don't remember in his route in the first game him ever hating us. So it's really bizarre. In this one, like, am I misremembering? Did I block that out? I mean, I know we were always like, you should hate me for this. And he's like, I mean, maybe there was something there about like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll be mad about Hugo's death or whatever. But like, I don't remember him being like, yeah, I hate you, but also I love you. Because I just, maybe I blocked that out. I don't know.
I was finally reaching the center of the field, which looked like the other end of the world to me. I set the fireproof explosives down and activated them as Cyan instructed me to do.
That's what I was wondering too. Like, explosives usually go boom with fire, but they're fireproof. Interesting. Okay.
All that's left is for me to get away from here before they detonate. Huh. By the time I spoke out, dumbfounded, all the strength from my body left me. No. The reason was simple. My body had finally reached its limit. At this rate, I'll get caught in the blast. I understood that, but No matter how much strength I tried to put into my arms, I couldn't move forward. I could hear the mechanical sound of the countdown behind me. 2 minutes left. 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Damn it! 1 minute left. 59 seconds left.
We're not going to count down the whole time, right? Anko's going to show up, right?
At that moment, I could feel something soft against my cheek.
Eve, wait.
That couldn't be. How could it be? A woman who was supposed to be waiting for me.
You hear the squelching noises, and that is so unnecessary. I hope you didn't have to hear them. I hope it's down low enough that you didn't just hear the squelching noises, because that is going to make me fucking vomit.
I see her smiling, with the corners of her lips stained with blood. At first, I thought she was a hallucination.
I was wondering if I was too.
But the warmth of my cheek was the same as I felt from her.
Are we gonna, end up dying in the fire again? With him, but just, in a different way? Yeah, because this is a CG dude. Also, I'm surprised if this is... Wait a minute. Oh. There's only one choice, left. Because, Mathis has had the 3 choices that were just following John's thing. I just scrolled up and we have our save file too after this. So I'm assuming our choice is going to come here somewhere because this feels very end-coded. Again, this feels very end-coded because it feels like we're going to die here unless Anko saves us. That'd be valid too.
Spacey, what are you doing here?
I shouted in Oh, I don't know why I was reading as me.
I shouted in despair at her appearance while facing true death. However, Spacey smiled as she coughed in pain.
Even if it took less than a minute for me to die, or to put it the other way, if I had just a minute here, I could still do something.
What? That's absolutely ridiculous. I wasn't surprised at Spacey for being taken aback when I shouted in horror.
I suppose your positivity rubbed off on me. I thought back on how I was always waiting for you to come back to me. So I thought this time, I should be the one to come to you. I'm sorry I couldn't sit still, but...
She continued on.
It was just so painful to wait for you to come back. Even as death, I wanted to believe there was something I could do too.
I was sure she was in pain, but she spoke without hiding her joy at being reunited with me.
Guardian of the Lycoris, please allow me to be by your side, just for now.
After dealing that finishing blow...
Aww. Look, we get a kiss!
She gave me a life-giving kiss. Even while surrounded by roaring flames, I could tell the warmth from Spacey's lips was special. As for what she felt, she wanted me to live. She wanted me to be by her side. She loved me. Even without words, she conveyed it all to me. Yes, that's just unfair. My heart pounded for more reasons than one. If you tell me that, I can't say anything else other than I'd happily let you fight alongside me, Spacey. I didn't come here to die. I wanted to use my life in order for you to live.
Yes.
Mustering the last of my remaining strength, I hit the ground with my arm. I rose up, supported by Spacey's body.
See, the way of the romance, it was I knew. They were you're gearing up it's gonna be the end. But now he's I'm rising up. Okay, but then they continued like this. They give you that where you're oh my God, are we gonna die here together? And he's I rose up, supported by Spacey's body. And you're okay, we're gonna try to get out. Okay. That's how you don't make us think it's the motherfucking end and give us a scene where it just kind of ends and fades away and you're oh, and then it's the next day and then you're what the fuck? This, you had that almost you were going up the crescendo oh, is it going to be the end? And he's that's it, I got up. And you're okay, no, we're going to keep going here. You know, that's how you do it. You start to build like, is this the end? Is it really? Are we gonna get our last choice like right in here? And then he's like, fuck that shit. And you're like, all right, okay, cool. You know? Because you half expect it feels like an end, but it's not fully there. This is what I'm talking about. This I can handle because you're like, I half feel like it's the end, but when it doesn't turn out to be, you're like, okay. They fucked that up in Mathis's. Well, that was the Salvation one, but
I rose up supported by Spacey's body. I didn't have the strength to walk, so I was simply dragged through the burning flower field. Every time she stepped forward, Spacey's face twisted in pain. And after a short while, she coughed up blood in concerning amounts. But still, she refused to let go of my body. Though she could die at any moment, even after what seemed like a lifetime. Just a little more. In an attempt to get as far away as possible from the blast radius, she desperately kept moving forward.
I'm surprised Anko hasn't shown up. You know what I mean?
The moment we managed to reach a spot away from the dense cluster of flowers, a crimson flash cracked the earth. The mysterious explosives the scientists happened to have on hand shook the ground with an unbelievable force.
Happen to have on hand. I mean, he says that with as much shade as we're feeling like, yeah, they just happen to have all these explosives. That seems shady. Exactly, sir.
And with it, the entire garden of Lycorises began to crumble. The flowers of salvation that sealed off the curse for so long were one after another swallowed into the growing darkness that rippled across the ground. I thought we'd gotten far enough. If only we had taken one more step.
Whoop, there she goes.
Spacey! The ground we stood on suddenly crumbled away. Our bodies succumbed to gravity, falling downward with the earth. I hoped to at least keep Spacey on solid ground, but it was too late. Our bodies followed the Lycorises into the darkness below.
Well, we're gonna die in that medicinal water. Maybe the medicinal water will heal us.
I'm not losing you again. Hans covered in...
Oh. Okay, so that was on... I was like, why in the world was Eve's name, like, question marked out? Because I was thinking, because we're in Eve's perspective. But I'm not losing you again. Now Anko shows up! Okay, cool.
Hans covered in black and red thrust out to take each of our arms. It wasn't death who came for us. I looked up in confusion.
Anko saved us. Oh! It's Adolphe and Anko! So basically, I wasn't wrong. Because Adolphe and Anko are the same person. Like, they almost have the same intensity in their face, except for Anko's eyes are a little bit wider and Adolphe's are a little squintier, but like, when they're mad, but still.
One was a dear friend, and the other a man I felt I had seen somewhere before.
Yeah, like... I mean, to be fair, they gave them very similar, if you look, it was the hand thing that gave it to me, like, the way Adolphe sits there with his hand, and then Anko's is exactly the reverse, in the exact same pose, and that was the weirdest thing. But, like, if you think about it, like, do they look similar? Sort of, but, like, everybody's kind of drawn similar, because it's the art style. And the thing is just the way, if you think about it, almost like the face framing bang layers. Like, look at the little hair that swoops in on Adolphe's left and right sides and the way his bangs kind of swoop in the middle. And Anko's is very similar, except for, yes, his bang, the texture isn't exactly the same shape, but it's like, it's a little almost similar, the front bang hairstyle. It's just, there's some similar enough about it, you know what I mean? But also, I mean, it's just... But they're different enough that, like, I could see why you wouldn't figure out that they're the same person. And yet, you know, there's just something. But I just think it's funny. Someone I feel like I've seen before. Literally the one man next to you that they did this on purpose. They knew exactly what they were doing with that line and that we were going to be like, well,
Adolphe!
Anko!
As we crossed onto the edge of the abyss, the two men tried desperately to pull us up.
I just love the fact that Ankofe showed up.
Ugh, is that all you got, Watchman of Death? I don't care how weak you are. If you let go of Spacey's arm, I'll kill you.
I don't need a child like you to tell me that. And I love the fact that I love their, like, just relationship with each other. I love how much they fucking dislike each other. It's kind of funny. The two of them twisted their faces in the exact same way. Oh, wait, that was supposed to be Eve saying that. Whatever. But that's also funny. Like, huh, you guys are really similar. Oh my god, the game's being funny now.
With a heroic shout, brought us back from the edge of the abyss.
Oh, I love it. That was sweet. Oh, look, is that a new lake where the flower field used to be? That wasn't always there, right? Right? Like, at the top of the map, there's like a giant lake. That was never there. Is that the flower field? Was that always there? I don't know.
At the same time, the night across Arbashel ended. We'd be faced with days of new struggles.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I think it is, though, new because, like, all the flowers... Well, I mean, the fields always looked black, I guess, but they look especially, like, crusty right now, you know? Maybe they always look that way and I'm just inferring. I don't know. I woke up to my own coughing. Blood. I felt the warm sensation of it on the side of my mouth. That's right. Adolphe and Anko saved us. I must have fallen unconscious right after... Eve! Eve had been saved alongside me, but I didn't know what happened to him. Ignoring the immense pain in my body, I leapt out of the isolation room. Hey, at least I left the door unlocked. For some strange reason, the door wasn't locked. Okay. See? I wanted some information, so I ran into the lab where I thought someone might be. Inside the lab were Cyan and Dahut. Spacey. I'm glad you've awoken, dear princess. See, now if Anko would stand with the pose, you know what I'm saying? I did not know what would become of you after you collapsed. You had coughed up a great deal of blood when we left the field. Adolphe and Anko looked to be in the middle of a discussion with Cyan and Dahut. And then...
Spacey! Welcome back.
He called out my name with his usual smile on his face. Did we die? Did we all die? Are we in heaven? Is this a bamboozle? You know what I mean? Because you're like, how are you standing here perfectly fine? Eve, a single tear fell from my eye, but like, thank God you're fine. But how? I don't trust this. This game likes to bitch slap you in the face, and like, I don't think it's going to end well, you know? And before it could hit the ground, I dove straight into Eve's chest. He was alive. Eve, you're alive. He was really there, right in front of me. Not a reliver. Well, no, actually, because if he ever became a reliver, he would still have his scars, right?
I'm sorry for worrying you. Well, because you fought so hard to come and get me, I was able to gain the strength to come back here with you. Thank you, Spacey. Although, you know, Adolphe carried me. It was kind of romantic.
Yes. I knew I didn't deserve this, but for now I was just so overjoyed he was alive. I stood there without letting go, savoring the warmth from his body. So I have a feeling then, since we didn't die in the flower field, that maybe in this ending we're going to become like Cyan's lab rats and we're just going to like live here. We're here being his lab experiments, but it's okay because I get to be with Eve and like whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, it's not the best ending. It's questionable, but we get to be with our boyfriend, kind of like, you know, because like in Mathis's, it was like, well, we're with our boyfriend, we stabbed each other. Okay, you know. I'm sorry to interrupt a private moment that you're doing in public, by the way. He didn't say the public part, but I've paraphrased. I feel like he would have. But we need to do a talk about what to do from here on out. Oh, but we do need to talk about what to do from here on out. and just let them be for now. It really is a miracle that both were able to return safely.
And she hadn't woke up for 2 days, so I was considering shaking her awake already. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just caught up for a moment. I didn't want to be parted from him, but we couldn't interrupt their discussion. We quickly separated from each other. I'd be clinging onto him like, he can still talk with me clinging onto him like this. Shut up.
I just woke up myself, so I have no idea what the situation is. What happened to Arbashell after the Lycoris fell?
Well, we were able to stop the spread of more toxins. At the very least, we weren't all dead in a few hours, and we have a new lake, which is kind of neat. But, like, everybody who swims in it dies, so whatever. I'm assuming. But with most of the Lycoris destroyed, there's no mistake that the country's days are numbered.
But again, okay, so I feel like Dahut doing all this was to spur Cyan to start his experimenting on me and Eve a lot faster and do it faster, and now we're in dire straits, so you kind of have to. You know what I mean? You don't have time to be like, oh, we got time, whatever, we can mess around. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. You know what I mean? But I'm not really sure he thought it through to be like, oh, Eve will go out in the... Because what if Eve and I had died? Then what? Then what, Dahut? You know what I mean? We knew that would be the case when we enacted our plan. Destroying the flower fields was only to prevent any more immediate deaths. We had no plan to seal away the toxins that were already ejected into the air. Unleashed from the Lycorises, the toxins, which were now free, still eroded away what life remained with us with every taken breath. I see. I couldn't help but feel down when faced with that reality. The wind should blow it away off into the sea.
But, with the time both of you bought for us, it's possible we can strategize a plan. It's still too early to lose hope. Let's keep going and use this opportunity to get rid of the curse.
I was just thinking in my head, you know, it's been a while since Dahut had his little star, and here we go.
That's Dahut for you.
I see. So that's your angle. Cyan laughed, cutting off Eve's remark. Cyan? Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself. It was a sloppy plan, but satisfactory enough. We don't have time. I'll play your little game for now.
I love how Dahut's like, you fucking figured me out. I love the fact that Dahut is really motherfucking smart, but Cyan is still fucking smarter. Like, Dahut's like, I gotta do this before he figures me out, and Cyan's like, yeah, no, I already fucking figured you out. Now, maybe, I don't know exactly why or what, but, like, whatever, because he doesn't give enough of a shit. Like, I feel like if Cyan actually put in the effort, he'd have fucking figured out but it's more like yeah, I'm only doing this because I'm bored. You know what I mean? So, like, if he really wanted to, if he put in just a teeny bit of effort, he could have figured out Dahut's whole plan and gotten everything started and been like, all of this. He would have figured it all out instantaneously. He's like fucking Sherlock Holmes over here, okay? He's like the Sherlock Holmes wishes he was Sherlock Holmesing, okay? Like, seriously? But he doesn't give enough fucks to care to even be able to look at it. You know what I mean? Like, if you opened the problem statement, you'd have figured out the answer instantaneously, but you don't want to open the book, you know? So, like, yeah, he figured out Dahut was up to something because Dahut rubbed it in his face, but, like, if Dahut and everything he was doing back there, Cyan's probably like, yeah, I know he's doing shady shit, but, like, whatever, it doesn't impact me, so I don't care. Like, I love it! Oh my god. I love it so much. It felt like the air between Cyan and Dahut was a bit different from usual. Are you guys done? We can't keep these two injured people standing here forever. I hate to agree, but he is correct. If this will take a while, you scientists should discuss it alone. Well, fine by me. I'll need at least 5 days to clean things up and interrogate the royal family. You say some scary stuff pretty casually. I'm absolutely opposed to waging an all-out war, so please don't kill the royal family, Cyan.
And so we can do anything but kill them?
Adolphe's like, I'm with Cyan.
With an exasperated sigh from Adolphe, the meeting was adjourned. That's great. I was worried about Eve, but I couldn't stay in the same room with him while I was still secreting toxins. I also didn't have much confidence in my own condition, so I wasn't exactly able to take care of others.
Princess.
I coughed up a small amount of blood, and Anko came over to help me steady. To help keep me steady. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Help keep me steady makes sense.
You were given medicines to suppress the coughs, but no one was sure if it would work on the curse. And be sure to rest and get better until your symptoms die down.
Thank you, but Cyan and the others already told you about what I am, right? Uncle might be safe because he can't die, but you're not going to be safe around me.
Well, does Adolphe know that he and Anko are the same person right
now? Dear princess, you're too kind to worry over such a man. While you may wish to continue listening to those sweet whispers of his, you should lie down for now and worry about everyone from the comfort of your bed.
And right, doesn't Anko hate himself, Adolphe, because the way the original game started was us stabbing ourselves in the throat with a dagger we stole from Adolphe, and then Anko stopping us. But in the original first timeline, before Anko kept going back in time and whatever, I stabbed myself, and then, whatever, he spiraled out of control, and then whatever, and has been fighting to, come back in time to be able to stop everything from happening, and, in this timeline, so, Anko is all the timelines. So it's like, no wonder he hates himself a little, but I'm not dead right now, remember? And just because Adolphe didn't save me doesn't mean you should be mad at yourself anymore, okay? Come on, don't be mad at yourself, man. Anko is like the poster child for it's okay to sometimes be mad at yourself, but you need to learn to forgive yourself and love yourself, okay? All right. Although you can call out your younger self for being stupid, but sometimes you gotta learn to forgive that younger self of yours, kiddo. With a gentle push from Anko, I lay down on the bed. The moment I did, my fatigue caught up to me and I felt my eyelids grow heavy. About to drift off to sleep, I looked at both of them, who seemed so similar to each other. I love the fact this game knows we know, but it keeps rubbing it. It's so funny. I find this so amusing. You guys are so the same. Why were you two at the Lycoris field? And the guards who were keeping watch over my cell died from the bizarre turn of events. I took a chance and made a break for it, and I ran around everywhere looking for you two. And along the way, I ran into this shady guy.
The conversation was now directed to Anko, who looked away from Adolphe's gaze, annoyed. I came across you in a similar way. I heard you were both being unjustly restrained against your will. I rushed to the Institute, but perhaps due to our different routes, just missed you. No. See, you can't give Anko in this pose if you're not going to do Adolphe in the hand-up pose. I need them in the pose together. And is that where you heard about our plan from Cyan? Yes. Because, there's a similarity almost here, too, but it's again, it's still different enough, but now I'm just trying to find similarities, but Anko's expression looked pained. But, his sweet little look is kind of the way Adolphe looks at you, you know what I mean? He gently rubbed my head. It felt nice, just like how Adolphe rubbed my head. See? Shit like that. I love it when the game is doing this. Because it's not now, you know what I mean? It'd be one thing if in the original game it give you a little throwaway line like this, whatever, but this one just keeps throwing it at you. Every other thing is a comparison. Be like, you guys are really similar. This is really like this. You guys look alike. And it just keeps doing it. And it's because it knows we know at this point. You know what I mean? It's literally just having fun with itself. It's they know, and it's not like we're hinting at anything. It's not like you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, the game was hinting the whole time. Obviously. We know the fucking answer. We know they're the same person. So it's just funny. The game is just like, are you laughing because we're laughing? It's funny, right? And it's like, they know what they're doing. And it's fucking fun. I love it. We need more of this. Oh, it's ridiculous. Forgive me. Had we been able to find you sooner, neither of you would have endured such pain. It's okay. We're safe now because you two came for us. Thank you too. Oh, thank you too, Adolphe. I'm sure it was painful to be in the Lycoris field with the toxins spreading everywhere. Adolphe's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Before Adolphe could answer my question, my fatigue grew even stronger and began to force my eyelids shut. I'm sorry. I think I can't stay awake any longer. I'm gonna sleep for now. Let's talk again when I wake up. Sure. A good night, my princess. Have pleasant dreams to make up for all the pain you've endured. Thank you. It was strange. Even though my chromosomes had been tainted, it wasn't that much of a burden on my body. Thankful for this coincidence, I gave up on thinking about anything at all and fell asleep. Right. I'd completely forgotten why I was brought to the Institute in the first place. And so, what are you plotting? What do you mean? Don't play dumb. You knew I was completely fine in the Lycoris field and you're keeping quiet about it. Are you trying to cover for me? Adolphe's mad about this. What are you plotting? Why are you covering for me? What the fuck? That's quite the disturbing thought. I would not help you even if Hades were to freeze over. I think it's so funny that Anko loathes his prior self. Like, it is so bonkers. There's a reason why I couldn't tell anyone if I wanted to. Everything about you was suspicious. That night, that blood of yours you made those two drink. It really is harmless, right? Of course, although it still cannot completely prevent the curse. It's still more effective than any medicine to stop the corruption of one's chromosomes. Okay, so he made us drink his blood in the field. Okay, that explains a lot. I'm trusting you on that. But if your blood somehow puts them in danger, I promise I'll kill you. Good grief. Is that all you can ever think to say? I'm sure the phrase, a fool knows only one trick, was meant especially for you. It's just so funny with how antagonistic Anko is to Adolphe, knowing that is you, dumbass. He's just so mad at his prior self. But there is times, like right now, like the eye, like his happy little eyes, and then when Adolphe gets mad, they have a similar shape to them, you know? But like their shocked face. See, like the way his happy eyes, like the way like the curve on the bottom is very similar. Slightly different, but still similar enough. Hey! That's right. The development of the antibodies is nearing completion. All that's left is to guide this young one and Cyanbrophes into making a medicine from it. And then, finally... The funny thing is, this is supposed to be Anko's internal monologue, but I'm guessing it's voiced because his mouth moves when you do this. And like, but he's saying it in his head, but he's like mouthing the words, and Adolphe's over there like, the fuck? I'll be able to take those two to a hopeful future. Oh, Ankave. This is rough. I can't really call myself human in this state anymore. The days afterward went by at a dizzying pace with all that needed to be done. The retrieval of corpses, medical attention for any survivors, calming down the confused residents, and dealing with the royal family. We had to accomplish it all with so few people. Capucine was also let out of his cell again, forced to help Cyan despite his enmity against him. Wow. I couldn't help anyone directly because of my allelopathy. Allelopathy! Anemone. Anemone. Don't hurt yourself, kid. I swear to God that every time that comes up, I feel like that freaking little fish in Finding Nemo. Well, I found like Nemo. God, it was Nemo. Oh my God. I live in an anemone because he's trying to say anemone. He can't say anemone. What kind of flower do you live in? I'm an anemone. An anemone. Don't hurt yourself, kid. Like, listen. If it's not Little Mermaid, on occasion it's Finding Nemo or Emperor's New Groove. I'm just saying, you could find a way to quote one of those at all damn times. Or A Bug's Life. Do I look stupid to you? Yes! In the little bloopers at the end. That aren't really bloopers, obviously, because it was an animated movie. But still unable to sit around and do nothing, I helped to sterilize bandages and prepare other equipment in the isolated room. And perhaps because Eve was so busy helping Cyan, Eve is like slowly dying over there. The only times I would see him was when we happened to pass by each other in the corridor. Okay. Time flew by during our busy endeavors. Ever since then, the royal family's been almost frighteningly silent. Cyan, you didn't actually go and kill the royal family, did you?
I haven't. I simply cut off all their tongues to make sure they couldn't say anything stupid ever again.
Wait, you actually physically made them shut up? Huh. And this man could easily do something so heinous with a straight face. You know, coming from Capucine, how dare you? Seriously, how? The fucking audacity! The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch. Harry Potter and the audacity stone. What the fuck? I'm sure there's other ones in here. The Little Audacity instead of the Little Mermaid. I mean, like, the Emperor's New Audacity. Like, what the hell? How dare you? No, he didn't. No, you didn't. Just throw shade at Cyan being a psychopath when you are like the queen. Okay, like, yes, Cyan is, like, psychotic, okay? The man needs some, like, is just, seriously, does some fucked up shit. But we love him, and Capucine, Jesus! Girl, I don't hear that shit coming out of your mouth. We do not need to hear that shit from you. Do not look down your nose at someone else that's pulling tricks that you wish you could pull. You know it's because Capucine over here thinks that he is just perfect, and there is nothing psychotic about any of the shit he has ever done, and is like, oh my God, Cyan absolutely would cut out people's tongues. What a fucking freak. Meanwhile, what kind of freak of nature thing did you build with Nadia's genes? You're over there looking at chromosomes like, oh yeah, like it's porn. Sir, you got more issues than National Geographic. I'm gonna need you to shut your mouth. This is why I love Capucine. The fucking audacity! And you gotta love the way he's written, because someone purposely put this line in and was like, I'm gonna write this, and someone was like, but I know exactly what they're doing here. Okay, I know at times that I said during Mathis's route, it's like, are they trying to, like, piss me off here? But, like, they got here, and they were like, you know what? We're gonna keep making Anko and Adolphe or similar references, and then we're gonna make Capucine judging other people for being psychos. You know what I mean? Good times. This is fun. Holy shit. This would have been a much better place to start the game. I definitely think so. So this is, again, what I was hoping for. I hope we were going to go on an upswing. So here we are on our upswing. And let's just hope it keeps rolling like this. I know there's going to be times where we're like, I'm getting a little bored of it and, like, wrap it up or whatever. But at the moment, we're having a good time. So I feel like this was a better use. You know? I mean, it might not end satisfyingly because it's just a encore end. It's just another version of an end, and I'm assuming it's not a salvation. It's just an end that's probably not going to be good, but, whatever, so. But anyway. But the ride's much more entertaining.
I'm certain Cyan Brophies agrees when I say you're not one to talk. To me, both of you are unforgivable sinners.
You know what? I'm really happy Onko's here to just say out loud everything that we just said, but, in a less fun way. I've been reunited with Eve, and we could only smile awkwardly at the frightening conversation.
If all we're here to do is chat, I'm going back to my room. And these two have barely even begun to recover.
No, sorry about that. But it's Cyan who gathered us all here. Even me. Dal had suggested that Cyan move to the only reason why everyone was here. Move on to the reason why everyone was here. I can't read. Cyan glanced at Eve, then controlled the stone slates to display some results on his analysis of the curse. Considering the total amount of toxins already expelled, as well as the toxins that can no longer be absorbed by the Lycoris, I've calculated the speed of contamination for the average person's chromosomes. Here are the results. Everyone in Arbishel will die within 2 months. As everyone waited with bated breath, Cyan announced the countdown to everyone's demise in an astonishingly casual manner.
2 months?
That's all?
Then why did we even put out the fires in the Lycoris field?
Cyan casually dismissed Capucine by saying it was better than dying in a few days. That said, we were still unable to accept it right away. In just 2 months, Arbishel will become a true land of death? Mother and the children at the orphanage might already be dead for all we know. Lucas and Nadia, everyone in the Corps, we don't know that Lucas isn't dead already. He kind of fell on the ground when, so we don't really know. Mathis and Jean, again, we don't really know what happened to them either. We're assuming they're still alive, and we're just going to hope, but everyone important to me, they're all going to die? I struggled to hold back tears and an urge to vomit over imagining such a scenario.
What do we do? Isn't there a way to neutralize the curse completely?
I'd be lying if I said there was none. We simply need to create a special antidote that can fight against the toxins.
Well, then...
That is, if we had the time. Everyone instantly understood that something was off when Cyan didn't specifically mention that this idea was possible. The god who designed the reliver system, he was the genius who developed this miraculous technology in a matter of months. In that case, if a way through the curse was even more difficult than developing such technology, how many months would it take? Even with antibodies, 3 months. What he offered was a time frame past the lifespan of the country.
Ridiculous. Not even antibodies would work. Then, what have I struggled for all this time?
Unko's shout of frustration echoed through the Institute. Everyone present understood it was impossible and began to slip into despair.
But, put the other way, if we did have time, then it could work out, right?
Dahat? His voice was lower than normal. For some reason, he was looking not at Cyan, but at me and Eve. Cyan understood the meaning behind his gaze. True enough, Cyan muttered. Then Eve, who was mostly silent this whole time, moved in front of me. Eve? Eve didn't answer me back. To be more accurate, he wasn't able to. That was the look he had on his face. Cyan looked upon him with cold, unfeeling eyes. I knew that look. It was the same look Cyan had when he brought me to the Institute and discovered what I was. Oh. I couldn't believe I had forgotten. Cyan was certainly not on the same side as the two of us. Haroon, with the genetic activism of the Drifter, and Spacey with the incarnation of the Lycoris, if we can lengthen the time we have by sacrificing one of you, can't we just make clones of me and bury them in the fields? Wouldn't that work? Because they're clones, like whatever. I'll be able to save this country's people from extinction. We were brought here as subjects for his experiments. Oof. Well, we were like, okay, we're gonna have the antibodies in a minute. And it's funny, they give you that sense of security where you think for a hot second it's gonna be okay. You're like, oh, well, maybe we'll like save everyone. And like, okay, I mean, yeah, everything's gonna be like, we'll be lab rats in an experiment, but everyone will be slowly bringing the country back and whatever. And then it's like, oh no, it's gonna be worse than that. Okay, right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, all right. Well, we're gonna figure that one out next time. So, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.